Hi everybody, this is Agnes from No Sediment, and today I am going to show you how to build a wine cellar for a price of a single iPhone. For some, creating your own wine cellar might seem time-consuming, intimidating, and something that requires a fortune. And yet, you can build an exciting and age-worthy wine cellar for roughly the price of a new iPhone, which is around 1,000 euros or dollars. You can buy 24 to 36 really good bottles, wines you could open over the next 10 years or more and enjoy with friends, family, or by yourself if you are being stingy. A quick note if you are new to this channel, this is not an investment or financial advice. I do not buy wines as an asset, but as a way of investing in my future self. Buying bottles that I know I will want to drink in the coming years or decades, but might not be able to afford later. So if I were building a cellar on one iPhone budget, this is where I would start. It is important to know what you enjoy drinking. Not that long ago, I had a podcast interview in which one of my guests, Andrew Jefford, proposed this idea.
I've always thought that in a way you can divide all human palates, wine palates, into two sorts. There's the Burgundy palate, in which case you're a little bit shy about tannin, but you tend to love acidity and freshness and vivacity. And then there's the Bordeaux palate, where you enjoy tannin and texture a lot, but you tend to be a little bit more shy about acidity.
So when you start to create your cellar, it is important to take your palate into account more than any other critic or wine advisor. You don't want to stock your cellar with structured, Bordeaux-like wines only to find later that you never actually want to reach for them. So I am going to divide this cellar in 3 different categories, each with specific purpose. Invest 50% in safe bets and be smart about it. I would look for regions that have consistently outperformed in quality. The first that come to my mind are Rioja and Tuscany, and for white wine lovers, Riesling and Chenin Blanc. With these wines, it is almost impossible to go wrong, and they are easy to access in the majority of markets. This would make the backbone of your cellar. I would probably invest in case of classic Rioja. One of the first wines that comes to my mind and one I always open with confidence is Lopez de Heredia, Viña Bosconia, but there's also amazing value and quality offered by Bodegas Muga, La Rioja Alta and Remelluri. And for those who reach for white wines, please do not ever dismiss Rioja whites. In a way, they can be even more exciting and show no shortage of aging potential. Loving structure, tannin and acidity as much as I do, I could not imagine my cellar without classic Italian reds. You can find great gems in Montalcino and Montepulciano, with Montepulciano probably offering more value. Look for Salcheto and Avignonesi. But it is Chianti Classico that has grown significantly in quality over the last decades. And while prices have also increased, there is still plenty of value to be found. Think of Castello di Ama, Fontodi, Mazzei, and Castello di Bossi. As a grape variety, Riesling constantly over-delivers. More delicate and lighter styles can be found in Mosel, fuller and riper in Pfalz, while dense and textured in Alsace and Wachau. And no matter the style you prefer, they all have tremendous aging capacity. And if you are a dedicated Riesling fan, it might be worth investing in few bottles of Hunter Valley Semillon. Whoa, they can age. Chenin Blanc is very unfairly unrepresented grape variety in many cellars. There are amazing examples in South Africa, think of Ken Forrester and Rall wines, as well as excellent wines from the Loire Valley that simply should not be missed, such as Francois Chidaine and Chateau de Plaisance. And the greatest part about it is that you no longer need to purchase full cases of a single wine. The majority of retailers will happily create a mixed box of 6 or 12 for you. Although it is a smart idea to have 2 or 3 bottles of each wine in case you really fall in love with something as you taste and want to have more. With these choices, you have spent around half of iPhone's budget and have between 18 to 24 bottles in your cellar. Now invest around 30% in Speculative Gems. These are wines that can age magnificently well, do not break your bank, and yet might require more research and time to seek out and acquire. This is the more adventurous part of the cellar, the bottles that make it feel a little more exciting and more individual. The first that came to mind for me was Red Provence, blends significantly based on Mourvèdre, wines with incredibly long aging potential that never lose their Mediterranean soul. They are perfect for those with Bordeaux palate. Chateau Romanant has already been mentioned in one of my YouTube videos, but from a smaller appellation in Provence, Bandol, think of Domaine de Terrebrun. Portugal, with its Douro and Douro reds, would fit perfectly here and could significantly increase your bottle count without lowering the quality level. I would also invest in Cru Beaujolais, which Burgundy palates would appreciate more. Think of Chateau du Moulin à Vent and their single parcel wines, and Antoine Saunier. With white wines, no questions asked, I would invest in single cru Muscadet from Loire Valley. I have mentioned Famille Libaud several times. I would also look at Soave from Pieropan, Verdicchio from producers Belisario and Garofoli, and Ries Baixas from Jorges de Salnes and Zarate. And with these 30% of the cellar, we still have not spent more than 250 to 300 euros. So already, without doing anything extravagant, the cellar is starting to take a shape. The remaining 20% of the budget should go into the classic staples, so choose your love and allow yourself to splurge a little. By now we have around 200 to 250 euros left, and this is where the cellar becomes a little more romantic. If you love aged sweet wines or fortified wines, you might get more bottles for your money. Vintage ports can age for decades, even closing to 100 years. Quinte Donoval, Niport, Kopke, there are so many to choose from. This is probably also the best time to invest in Sauternes. They offer outstanding quality, can live forever, and yet still cost very little. You can also choose half bottles, and just as with port, there is so much to choose from. Doizidéen, Chateau Cotet, Chateau Suduiro. And I personally would choose this moment to invest in some great classic Bordeaux. Not en primeur though. With back vintages, we are starting to see some price drop. I am guessing because there is a need to move inventory a little. You can find Durfort-Vivens 2016 for 60 euros, and that wine is perfect today and will be outstanding in 20 years. Chateau Leoville-Barton in Saint-Julien and Chateau St.Georges in Saint-Emilion are other great examples. As a lover of Nebbiolo, I would probably invest in few bottles of those as well, and Barbaresco still offers better value than Barolo. Now, with 200 to 250 euros, I would be cautious with Burgundy. Even at premium prices, one can still find disappointment. But when it is great, it is really great. For my cellar though, a safer bet would be Cumeo River Chardonnay from New Zealand. I have never been disappointed by a bottle. I also could not leave my cellar without champagne. So there would most likely be at least one bottle from one of the growers, such as Charpentier, Soinen, and Laertre, or perhaps a Taittinger Prelude. I know I have mentioned many wines, many regions, and you can find the list in the description below. While I myself am not the greatest advocate for strict drinking windows, I cannot deny that some wines have the ability to develop in bottle for years and decades, while others do not. The single iPhone worth cellar is also built in such way that around 1/3 can be opened and enjoyed now or over the next 5 years. For example, Verdicchio, Chenin Blanc, Cru Beaujolais, and Rioja, although you can still hold them longer without much fear. The greatest majority can be enjoyed within 5 to 10 years, while the classic staples sure will keep their ground for 10 years or longer. And you can replenish as you go. Find new gems, discover new grape varieties, regions, styles, and add them to your cellar. Thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know in the comment section below what wines would you include in your one iPhone wine cellar. And before you run off and start building your single iPhone cellar, do remember that even great bottles can be ruined by poor storage. So if you want future you to be truly grateful, make sure to watch this video next.